Okay, we're talking about armbar escape. So, first of all, grip and stance, okay? Now, I talked about this in the classes already quite a lot, but armbar escapes, it gets ridiculously complicated very, very quickly. And it's a situation in which, although I really like to structure techniques and knowledge and strategy in a very organized way and building decision-making trees, when it comes to armbar, it's actually prejudicial to do so because there are so many different scenarios, and it might not look like much as a beginner level, but we're going to kind of get a glimpse of this in a second. There are so many different scenarios that if you want to learn this, computing all the different outcomes, the decision-making tree just becomes overwhelming. So I'm just going to give you some heuristic rules that you can work with, and then realistically you just need to develop a feeling for what's the right option. Okay, so very, very basic overview of armbar positions. So let's start from a top player's perspective. So a top player, first of all, we're not going to get into all the different leg configuration, okay, because it would be an instructional only for that, because obviously there's a quarter juji. That's the three-quarter.
Oh, three-quarter.
The quarter is the one with the foot right there. Yeah, there's a three-quarter, which is the one hit over the shoulder, and then there is a full juji, which is the one that we want to work with. There's shoulder sankaku, top and bottom. And anyway, it's just that becomes very, very complicated. We're just going to look at full juji because it is the most common in jiu-jitsu, is the one you're going to, as a beginner, you're going to play with the most, and so that's the one we're going to work with. Talking about grips, my partner can have a bottom hand post, in which he has a bottom hand post and feeds the top hand through. Then he can have a top hand post with his hand on the center, yeah. And then he can have bottom and top hand posts, but with a staggered stance, as it were. So, exactly, he can collapse his head north, where his arm is, or he can collapse his head south, okay, where his arm is. So, once again, he can have his head on the center and posting north and south, 1 and 2, or he can post south with his head south, or he can post north with his head north. And now finally, a kimura grip, which is, there you go, this is a kimura grip, okay? So this is usually what we are going to be working with. On my side, I can have a figure four, which is probably the most common, is definitely the most robust grip you can have. And then you can have a variety of grips that are much more open, less robust, but that allow you more movement, okay? Remember, movement is the enemy of submission. So you can have a 10-finger grip, both sides, palm to palm, both sides, and then wrist to wrist, once again, both sides. Now you see how many options there are, and you can see you get to combine each grip with each of his positions. You see why this becomes uncomputable fairly quickly, okay? So I'm just going to give you very easy rule of thumbs, okay?